Do Hyunjung is renowned for his physical strength and unwavering dedication to bodybuilding. His life revolves around intense workouts, strict nutrition, and a relentless pursuit of physical perfection. While many admire his discipline, his girlfriend does not share this admiration. When she asks to meet, it becomes clear that Hyunjung's obsession with fitness has strained their relationship. She confronts him, expressing deep frustration and accusing him of putting the gym above their emotional connection. Hyunjung listens silently, emotionlessly. Rather than offering comfort, he simply stares, detached. Despite the breakup's emotional toll, he remains committed to his craft and doesn't allow it to distract him from his goals. Not long after the breakup, Hyunjung competes in a prestigious bodybuilding championship. The competition marks a major milestone in his athletic career. Surrounded by skilled competitors, he performs brilliantly and secures first place. The win affirms his years of hard work and comes with a significant cash prize. However, as the judges congratulate him, he accepts the award without celebration and walks away. With his victory behind him, he returns to Seoul, ready to start a new chapter. Back in Seoul, Hyunjung begins promoting a local gym by handing out flyers, his way of staying connected to fitness and inspiring others. One day, outside a small motel, he sees a woman named Miran crying alone. Concerned, he approaches her. Miran explains that she just had a fight with her boyfriend, Jun Seok, who has been emotionally neglectful. After Jun Seok leaves, Hyunjung quietly offers her a gym flyer, suggesting it might be a good way to focus on herself and heal. Miran's life has been riddled with heartbreak. Her romantic past is filled with disappointment, leaving her emotionally fragile. One night, after another argument with Jun Seok, she returns home to find the house decorated with balloons and notes intended to surprise her. But the gesture is ruined when she finds a man, her sister Jiran's boyfriend, in her bedroom. Chaos ensues, and in the confusion, Miran is mistakenly arrested. Though the matter is resolved at the police station, her sister's harsh words about her loneliness deeply wound her. That night, she drinks alone to numb the pain. Spotting a poster that reminds her of the gym flyer, she mistakenly believes it's a nightclub and decides to visit. Upon arrival, she meets Hyunjung again, who introduces her to a program called Total Life Care, a 3-month lifestyle and fitness transformation plan costing 5 million won. Miran, offended by the offer, assumes it's a judgment on her appearance. She lashes out and storms off. Tension brews within the gym. Rosa, the gym's owner, voices concerns about the impact of Hyunjung's blunt demeanor. Though effective, his lack of tact has pushed away some clients. Rosa's father, Director Dong, who raised Hyunjung in his youth, adds depth to the gym's dynamic. Despite challenges, Hyunjung remains devoted, spending nearly every moment at the gym. When nightclub owners try to stop him from distributing flyers in their territory, he boldly challenges them to a fitness competition, showing his fearless dedication to spreading his message. Meanwhile, Miran reflects on her relationship with Jun Seok and wonders if their fight was the end. Encouraged by her sister, she confronts him at work. He admits he's leaving for South America and breaks up with her, saying she deserves better. When Miran presses him about their lack of intimacy, he dodges the question, deepening her confusion and hurt. At the gym, financial troubles loom as the landlord threatens to shut them down. Hyunjung steps in, appealing to the landlord with his recent achievements and potential. Rosa confides her fears about the uncertain future of the gym. In a surprising turn, Miran returns to the gym and pays the full fee to join the Total Life Care program. A flashback reveals the true reason behind Jun Seok's distance, his inability to be intimate with her due to her body. The revelation cuts deep, but fuels her resolve to change. Hyunjung promises her that the program will change not just her body, but her life. As she leaves the gym, Miran stumbles and falls into his arms. Their eyes meet, and for a moment, something new begins to blossom between them. The gym remains the central hub of Hyunjung's daily life. Throughout his interactions, he encounters several members whose behaviors disrupt the atmosphere and compromise the comfort of others. One male member, in particular, is notorious for excessive sweating, creating an unhygienic and unpleasant environment. Despite repeated complaints and confrontations, he refuses to change his habits. Meanwhile, a group of dominant female members frequently monopolizes gym equipment, acting as if it belongs solely to them. Their controlling behavior frustrates other members and restricts general access to shared resources. On this day, Miran arrives for her very first training session in the Total Life Care program. This moment marks the beginning of her physical and emotional transformation. Hyunjung begins with a series of diagnostic tests to assess her current physical condition, measuring flexibility, strength, and endurance. The results are discouragingly low, revealing significant deficits across all areas. After a rigorous introductory workout, Miran experiences intense muscle soreness. Hyunjung explains this pain as delayed onset muscle soreness, DOMS, a normal and even healthy response to strenuous activity, signifying muscle fiber breakdown and the beginning of muscle growth. The following day, Miran's pain worsens. Despite her discomfort, she remains determined to complete the program. Meanwhile, Rosa, the gym's owner, pulls Hyunjung aside to express concern. She highlights that many of his past clients have dropped out before achieving results, hinting at a pattern. Rosa suggests that his overly intense training methods and blunt communication may be discouraging rather than motivating to some. An elderly, loyal gym member named Xiang Im visits the gym bearing a gift, a large mirror. While modest, the gesture lifts the spirits of everyone and serves as both a practical training tool and a symbol of renewal. Meanwhile, Miran's workplace life is briefly explored. Her colleague and friend Yejin expresses concern over their boss's repeated assignments of honeymoon packages to Miran, a tone-deaf move given her recent breakup. Noticing a message from Hyunjung on Miran's phone, Yejin mistakenly assumes he is her boyfriend and invites him to her upcoming wedding as Miran's guest. Motivated, Miran buys a tight-fitting dress, one she cannot yet wear, using it as a tangible symbol of her transformation goal. She shares her plan to get fat-dissolving injections with Hyunjung. He strongly discourages it, insisting on a healthy, natural approach. To motivate her, he promises a full refund of her 5 million won fee if she completes the program and still cannot fit into the dress. Later, Miran starts imagining Hyunjung in her head, sternly chastising her for laziness or cheating on her diet. These internal visions reflect her growing accountability. Miran ultimately admits that while she initially doubted the program, she now fully believes in its power. Hyunjung, noticing the dress she bought, silently shows a flicker of concern. In a show of camaraderie, Hyunjung participates in a high-energy Zumba class to support his friend, Alex. The workout proves exhausting. Even the other women in the class collapse from fatigue. Later, as Miran heads home, she gives in to temptation and buys a snack. Hyunjung spots her and immediately redirects her back to the gym for extra training. In the days that follow, Miran fully commits to the program, rigorously following every instruction. Eventually, to her shock and delight, she fits into the dress. Overjoyed, she runs to share the good news with Hyunjung and invites him to accompany her to the wedding. Initially hesitant, he finally agrees after she insists. The wedding day arrives. Unexpectedly, Miran wears her sister Jiran's dress, while Jiran decides to wear the fitted dress Miran had worked so hard to fit into. At the wedding venue, Miran's co-workers arrive, and in an attempt to maintain a specific image, she impulsively introduces Hyunjung as her boyfriend. Understanding her need to save face, Hyunjung plays along. Her main goal is to avoid an awkward encounter with her ex, Jun Seok. But when Hyunjung encourages her to face her past head-on, Miran bravely approaches Jun Seok. He compliments her appearance, saying she looks beautiful. However, the moment is shattered when the words, "I love sex," are revealed on the back of her dress. Shocked and embarrassed, Jun Seok walks away. In her frantic attempt to cover the message, the dress tears. Hyunjung, without hesitation, places his jacket over her shoulders, shielding her from further embarrassment. Quietly and supportively, he escorts her away from the venue. Miran begins craving machang, a traditional Korean dish known for its rich and fatty flavor. This craving represents her internal conflict, torn between comfort food and her new healthy lifestyle. However, Hyunjung intervenes, firmly warning that indulging in such foods would sabotage her physical progress and harm her health. He tells her plainly that eating unhealthy food is an act of self-sabotage. Offended and frustrated, Miran storms out. The confrontation escalates to the point where Hyunjung offers to refund the 5 million won she paid for the program. Rosa, the gym's owner, steps in with some much-needed wisdom. She urges Hyunjung to be more empathetic toward his clients, reminding him that transformation requires emotional as well as physical support. Rosa highlights that while his strict methods can yield results, they can also alienate those who need a more sensitive approach. During their conversation, Rosa shares exciting news. She's discovered a new group of potential clients, Skinny Men Fighting, SMF, a niche community of lean men who want to gain strength and muscle. Seeing this as a promising opportunity, Hyunjung accepts the challenge, even staking his career on it. If he fails to help one of them transform, he'll quit coaching altogether. Unfortunately, the first meeting with the SMF group didn't go well. At a dinner meant to build rapport, Hyunjung's blunt personality or a possible misunderstanding offends the group, causing them to walk out. This setback highlights his struggle to adjust his approach for different types of clients. Meanwhile, Miran tells her sister Jiran she's planning to quit the gym. Still feeling humiliated by the incident with her dress at the wedding, she's lost confidence at work and in herself. However, Junseok unexpectedly clears the air by telling their co-workers that the dress incident was an honest mistake. His gesture helps restore Miran's dignity and softens her attitude toward him. Tension rises with the opening of a brand new gym directly across the street. Its owner, Lee Ro-yi, is a figure from Hyunjung's past and arrives with a grudge. Ro-yi accuses Hyunjung of evading a past drug test and causing problems for director Dong, Rosa's late father. These allegations threaten Hyunjung's reputation. The new gym lures away several clients, but one SMF member, Kang Cheol-nam, chooses to stay loyal. Meanwhile, a pivotal moment strikes Miran while riding a bus. When it stops abruptly, she manages to remain standing. That simple act of balance makes her realize the deeper value of training, not just fitting into a dress, but building real strength. She tells her sister proudly, "I can now stand on my own." Lee Ro-yi tries to recruit Miran with a free trial class. She attends, but quickly finds it far too easy and unchallenging. The experience helps her appreciate the intensity and discipline of Hyunjung's training. Meanwhile, Kang Cheol-nam struggles with his meal plan, losing his appetite due to the strict diet. Spotting Miran nearby, he and the other SMF members ask her to help him rediscover joy in eating by exploring different nutritious foods together. Kang Cheol-nam falls seriously ill and is hospitalized, threatening both his physical progress and mental resilience. Lying in his hospital bed, he opens up about an earlier incident where a man blocked his cafe with a truck and mocked him for being weak. The story becomes a metaphor for society's judgment toward those who appear physically fragile. Upon recovery, Cheol-nam returns to the cafe and manages to move the same truck, proving his strength and determination. The man who mocked him is stunned. This moment marks a personal breakthrough for Cheol-nam, who promises to return to training once fully recovered. Back at the gym, Hyunjung prepares to ask Miran to return to training, but before he can, Lee Ro-yi arrives and reveals that Miran has already chosen to stay with Hyunjung. A subtle competition unfolds between the two men, but Miran's decision is clear. Encouraged by Cheol-nam's endorsement, other SMF members also return to the gym. In a final, uplifting twist, an Olympic athlete joins the gym to boost his performance, instantly increasing the gym's prestige and momentum. Riding this wave of renewal and success, Hyunjung turns to Rosa and calmly tells her she will have to leave the gym, not him. Hyunjung surprises Rosa with a bold announcement. She will no longer be responsible for daily gym operations. Instead, he challenges her to compete in an upcoming bodybuilding competition. This unexpected twist shocks Rosa. She's always been a gym manager and supporter, but now she must step into the spotlight as a competitor. Motivated and slightly overwhelmed, Rosa begins intense training. Her preparation involves grueling workouts, learning posing techniques, and developing the confidence to perform on stage in front of judges and a live audience. Meanwhile, Miran learns that her mother, Lee Soo-kim, plans to visit. This news triggers a frenzy at home as Miran, her sister Jiran, and Jiran's boyfriend clean and prepare for the visit. When Soo-kim arrives, she conducts a critical inspection of the home, pointing out every imperfection. She also insists on meeting Junseok, unaware that he and Miran have broken up. Panicked, Miran stops her sister from revealing the truth and eventually excuses herself, overwhelmed by the weight of family expectations and personal turmoil. At the gym, Hyunjung begins coaching Rosa for the competition. He teaches her the essentials of effective posing and underscores how presentation can influence scoring in bodybuilding. To complete her prep, they visit a tanning salon, a standard practice to enhance muscle definition on stage. There, they run into Lee Ro-yi, owner of the rival gym, who is also coaching a female competitor for the same contest. The tension between the two gyms intensifies. Meanwhile, Miran, having nowhere else to go, returns to the gym. When Hyunjung removes his shirt in front of her, she panics and hides. Mistaking her for a ghost, he comically flees the room. Left behind, Miran curiously explores his personal space. The next day brings emotional challenges for Rosa. A call from competition officials requesting age verification triggers insecurities about being older than most contestants. She and Hyunjung argue over her lifting limits, and in the process, she injures her foot. Discouraged, Rosa declares she's quitting the competition, believing her body can no longer handle the demands. Elsewhere, Miran prepares for a dinner arranged by her mother, who insists Junseok attend. To help her avoid this awkward situation, Miran's boss distracts Junseok, giving her a chance to escape. But at the dinner, Jiren accidentally reveals the truth about Miran's breakup. Sukim responds harshly, blaming Miran's weight for her failed relationship. Deeply hurt, Miran storms out. Seeking solace, Miran goes to eat fried chicken by herself. Unexpectedly, Hyunjung joins her. Unlike his usual disciplined self, he is visibly upset and begins binge-eating as a form of self-punishment. In his distress, he mistakes a bottle of soju for water and becomes drunk. Miran helps him back to the gym. Upon arrival, they encounter an unexplained and suspenseful situation, leaving the viewers in anticipation. The next morning, Hyunjung and Miran accompany Rosa and another gym member, Alex, to the bodybuilding event. Rosa is still demoralized, feeling her injury has ruined her chances, but she soon discovers that Hyunjung and Miran had witnessed her training in secret, even while she pretended to be too hurt to continue. Despite her doubts, Rosa performs with growing poise on stage. Although she doesn't win the grand prize, she receives a participation award, reigniting her passion for fitness and the desire to compete again. It marks a turning point in her journey not of defeat, but of empowerment. Later that evening, Miran makes an effort to reconcile with her mother. She arrives home to find that Sukim has cooked dinner. Trying to connect, Miran shows her a photo of Rosa at the competition, expressing her wish to become just as strong. Sukim, however, dismisses the idea, claiming men would never be attracted to a woman with such muscles. Miran counters with quiet confidence. She's not doing it to attract a man, but to be strong for herself. Meanwhile, Jiren and her boyfriend Kang Dan confront Junseok and sternly warn him to never disrespect Miran again. The scene reveals the strength of Miran's support system and reinforces that there are consequences for how she's been treated. Back at the gym, the atmosphere is celebratory. News arrives that Rosa has qualified for the finals of the bodybuilding competition. The gym community rallies in excitement and pride. Amid the celebration, a member quietly tells Miran that Hyunjung once had a romantic past, adding a layer of mystery to his stoic persona. That night, the gym was silent. Hyunjung and Miran lie asleep on the gym floor, physically and emotionally exhausted. Rosa, unaware they are there, continues her workout. As she leaves, Miran attempts to sneak a treat that Hyunjung had bought for Rosa. He catches her in the act, and in a tender moment, pulls her close. A surprising moment unfolds at the gym when a young boy named Jiho runs in and calls Hyunjung daddy, stunning everyone. Moments later, his mother Hyebin arrives, clearly exhausted. She explains that Jiho wandered off, leaving her drained from searching for him. Observing her fatigue, Hyunjung suggests she could benefit from exercising to boost her energy and health. However, Hyebin expresses concern about not having anyone to care for Jiho during workouts. Understanding her situation, Hyunjung offers to look after Jiho himself while she trains. At work, Miran reconnects with her colleague and friend Ye-jin, who has just returned from her honeymoon and brought gifts for everyone, including a Hawaiian doll for Miran. Unexpectedly, Miran is offered a chance to host a Hawaii-themed travel show on Live Market, a prominent broadcast platform. Though Ye-jin hoped for the role, the producers favor Miran, believing she's more passionate about Hawaii. Ye-jin, while supportive, warns that appearing on camera may make Miran look heavier, triggering her body image insecurities. Motivated to prove herself, Miran makes a bet with Hyunjung. If she can successfully quit eating flour, he must eat spicy rice cakes, which he dislikes. If she fails, she must perform a dance live on air. At the gym, Hyunjung begins training Hyebin while juggling childcare duties for Jiho. Balancing coaching and babysitting proves demanding, testing his patience and endurance. Meanwhile, Miran attempts to eliminate all flour-based foods from her life and asks her family to avoid bringing any into the house. Her commitment is tested when she struggles to resist eating a salad that contains a tiny piece of bread. Her co-workers witness her internal food battle, reflecting how hard it is to break deeply ingrained habits. Back at the gym, Hyunjung tries to delegate Jiho's care to Alex, but the child's distress forces him to take Jiho back. Meanwhile, Roy, who mocks Hyunjung's exhaustion, pushes him to the point of collapse. Simultaneously, Miran, experiencing withdrawal symptoms from cutting out flour, grows increasingly irritable. When she finds leftover pancakes at the gym, it pushes her over the edge. She vents to Hyunjung, who calmly explains that her crankiness is a natural result of carb withdrawal. Tensions rise again when Mi-ran catches her sister Jiran and Kang-dan eating noodles, then receives a text from Hyunjung that blames her mood on her diet, further straining their connection. That night, Hyunjung had a nightmare. In it, his former mentor, director Dong, tells him he's not strong enough to take care of Jiho or run the gym. The dream reveals Hyunjung's growing self-doubt. The next day, emotionally drained, he pretends to be sick to avoid Heebin's scheduled training session. Meanwhile, Mi-ran meets with the producer of the Hawaii travel show, but is completely distracted when he eats a bagel in front of her. Unable to focus, she fumbles the meeting. Trying to clear his mind, Hyunjung visits a public gym only to bump into Heebin and Jiho again. Hoping to avoid them, he ends up colliding with Jiran and Kang-dan during a photo shoot. Later, Heebin offers him porridge and reveals she can no longer come to the gym. Later that evening, Jiho begins crying uncontrollably, and Hyunjung rushes over to help. He distracts the boy using lunges, calming him down. The experience prompts him to encourage Heebin to return to the gym. This moment of connection inspires a new idea: a children's fitness class at the gym, giving parents like Heebin an outlet while their kids stay active. Meanwhile, Mi-ran prepares for her upcoming live show. Yejin brings bagels for everyone except Mi-ran. Feeling left out, Mi-ran imagines an internal conversation with Junbae, who tempts her to break her flour-free streak. Suddenly, a thief snatches the bagels. Mi-ran and Hyunjung chase down the thief and recover the bag. Hilariously, the thief had stolen only the bagels, not money, emphasizing how symbolic food has become in Mi-ran's struggle. Frustrated, Mi-ran confesses she feels enslaved by flour. Hyunjung gently tells her she's earned a reward and encourages her to eat the bagel. During the live broadcast, Mi-ran shines, performing with confidence and grace. Her transformation is evident physically and emotionally. Watching from afar, Hyunjung is proud. Unexpectedly, Jun Seok also watches the show and smiles quietly, hinting at lingering feelings. Back at the gym, Hyunjung confesses that he's exhausted and in need of rest after everything they've all endured. That night, Mi-ran receives a text from Jun Seok but deletes it without reading, signaling her growth and desire to move forward. In a flashback, it's revealed that the confusing text Mi-ran once received from Hyunjung was actually a drafted apology one he never sent because he fell asleep before hitting send. Mi-ran throws herself into a vigorous treadmill workout at the gym, but her mind remains occupied with thoughts of the deleted message from her ex-boyfriend, Jun Seok. Emotionally unsettled, she channels her inner turmoil into physical effort, pushing herself so hard that the treadmill malfunctions and breaks. This moment symbolizes her emotional strain and the gym's growing limitations. Financially, the gym is struggling. It cannot afford to replace the treadmill. In response, the team decides to promote personal training sessions with Hyunjung, using his experience and reputation as a draw. A 30% discount is offered to boost signups, but unfortunately, the campaign doesn't yield immediate results. Determined to help, Mi-ran encourages 3 regular female gym members to sign up for personal training. Her efforts pay off when Seong-im, an older loyal member, agrees to join. Mi-ran and Hyunjung celebrate this small victory. During their celebration, Hyunjung notices calluses on Mi-ran's hands, clear evidence of her commitment and growth. Meanwhile, Seong-im begins her training with genuine curiosity and persistence, asking many questions in her quest for improvement. Her enthusiasm stands out compared to other, more passive gym members, reinforcing the value of focused, individualized training. At work, Mi-ran receives exciting news. Her Hawaii travel show has been a success, generating positive feedback from viewers. In an unexpected twist, Yejin reveals that Jun Seok was the one who recommended Mi-ran for the job. This revelation complicates Mi-ran's feelings. She now sees that he may still care. Later, Mi-ran brings her sister Jiran to the gym. Hyunjung recognizes Jiran but keeps it to himself, maintaining a respectful distance. Eager to impress, Mi-ran pushes herself during a workout but nearly injures herself, prompting Hyunjung to step in and stop her. Meanwhile, Seong-im accidentally breaks one of Hyunjung's bodybuilding trophies while cleaning and disrupts his personal training time. Over time, he notices a decline in his muscle mass, symbolizing how much he's sacrificing for others. Seong-im invites Hyunjung out to eat, But during the meal, they run into her husband, who is with another woman. Embarrassed, Seong-im hides and later confides in Hyun-jung. Though she's unhappy at home, she doesn't want a divorce because of their daughter. Her honesty prompts Hyun-jung to empathize more deeply with her situation. Later, Miran opens up to Hyun-jung, sharing that exercise has helped her feel stronger inside, not just physically. Inspired, Hyun-jung teaches Seong-im a special shoulder relaxation exercise to relieve her stress. She admits that it's hard to let go of emotional burdens, revealing how interconnected physical fitness and emotional well-being truly are. Eventually, the female gym members witness Seong-im's husband out in public with the same woman. He awkwardly introduces her as a co-worker, and even has the audacity to ask Seong-im to cook for her. The moment is painful, but revealing. That same evening, Miran and Jiran help a woman collecting garbage on the street, highlighting their growing compassion and maturity. Miran spots Jun-seok but chooses to hide instead of confronting him. She asks her sister to help communicate with him, exposing her lingering emotional vulnerability. Jiran senses Miran hasn't fully moved on and secretly contacts Kang-dan, likely to offer her additional support. Later at the gym, Miran notices one of her calluses has fallen off. This minor detail feels significant to her. It symbolizes lost strength or regression. She shares this emotional moment with Hyun-jung, emphasizing the roller coaster of feelings that comes with personal transformation. In a flashback, Miran is seen crying alone on the street. From a distance, Jun-seok watches, moved by her sadness. Before he can approach her, Seong-im suddenly intervenes, mistaking him for a stranger harassing Miran, a moment of confusion, protection, and unresolved tension. Miran arrives at the gym in tears, deeply affected by a recent encounter with Jun-seok. Although she believed she had moved on, the sight of him triggers a wave of unresolved emotions. Overwhelmed, she expresses a desire to quit the gym entirely, feeling as though her progress has meant nothing. Her despair reflects a common emotional hurdle known as a fitness rut, where motivation wanes and personal growth feels stagnant. The gym members gather around her in support, explaining that such emotional slumps are part of the journey and nothing to be ashamed of. Meanwhile, Hyun-jung, undeterred by her silence, continues to send encouraging messages, urging her to try just one more day. Touched by his persistence, Miran agrees to spend time outside the gym with him, hoping to rediscover her motivation. At the gym, Alex is now in charge of training Seong-im, but finds the task more difficult than expected. Seong-im distracts him, shows reluctance to follow instructions, and rarely completes exercises, challenging his resolve as a trainer. Rosa steps in to remind Alex of the importance of keeping clients motivated and committed. To re-energize Miran's spirit, Hyun-jung introduces her to new, unconventional workouts. They visit a gun range, where Miran surprises everyone by hitting the targets with precision. Later, they shoot some hoops on a basketball court, where Miran again performs impressively. Despite her success, Miran admits that her initial drive for working out was to impress Jun-seok, and with those feelings fading, she feels lost. In response, Hyun-jung reflects on a personal moment from his past, when his mentor, director Dong, expressed disappointment over him winning silver instead of gold. That harsh moment, where Dong locked the gym doors to emphasize discipline, shaped his pursuit of excellence. Hyun-jung visits director Dong, now hospitalized, and quietly recommits himself to helping others, no matter the setbacks. Jiran and Kang-dan arrive at the gym. Kang-dan begins training with Alex, but their playful dynamic makes it hard to maintain focus. Meanwhile, director Dong wakes in his hospital bed and becomes agitated upon learning that Hyun-jung is still managing the gym. Back at the gym, Alex, seeking guidance, asks Hyun-jung how to retain clients. Hyun-jung emphasizes persistence and consistency, saying the key is never giving up. Taking this advice to heart, Hyun-jung visits Miran's workplace to personally ask for another chance to support her. Their close interaction catches the attention of Miran's co-workers, who tease her and assume they're dating. Unknown to them, Jun-seok overhears everything. Back at the gym, Kang-dan suddenly collapses mid-workout, raising concerns about safety and overtraining. Jiran advises Alex to listen to clients' limits, reinforcing the need for balance between pushing and protecting. To help Miran reconnect with herself and nature, Hyun-jung takes her on a hiking trip. During the hike, Miran abruptly runs off only to reveal she had a stomachache, not an emotional meltdown. Laughing through the discomfort, she questions why Hyun-jung pushes himself so hard. In response, he opens up about his abandonment issues and feelings of inadequacy, revealing the vulnerable side beneath his strict exterior. Miran challenges him. Why not confront those who walked away instead of carrying their weight forever? At the same time, Alex contemplates quitting, feeling ineffective as a trainer. But Rosa encourages him to stay strong, emphasizing that every trainer faces doubt. Later, Hyunjung visits director Dong again. Dong explains that letting him go from the gym years ago was a lesson meant to help him grow, not a punishment. However, Hyunjung expresses that his true home is now the 24-hour gym, where he's built something meaningful. He later discovers director Dong's old training diary and begins sending him exercise tips, a gesture of respect and continued connection. Meanwhile, Alex adapts his methods for Kang Dan, taking a gentler, more flexible approach. Reflecting on his journey, Hyunjung shares a final thought. Fitness ruts are overcome not with motivation, but with daily recommitment. With renewed energy, Hyunjung informs Miran that he faced director Dong and now leaves the door open for her to return to the gym when she's ready. Miran soon crosses paths with Jun Seok and confronts him, telling him to stop sending messages and warning him not to confuse the past with the present. Later at the gym, as Miran prepares to leave, a gust of wind blows her cap across the floor. Hyunjung gently lifts her up so she can retrieve it, smiling as he tells her he's happy she came back. Miran is struck by his genuine warmth, a moment that hints at emotional healing and deeper connection. Miran starts to feel subtle romantic feelings toward Hyunjung. This shift doesn't go unnoticed by the 3 regular female gym members, affectionately known as the gym aunties, who warmly share stories about how much Hyunjung missed Miran during her absence. Their teasing and support highlight the deepening bond between Miran and Hyunjung, suggesting their relationship is growing beyond just trainer and trainee. The gym atmosphere suddenly changes with the arrival of Kang Sol, a popular fitness influencer with over 1 million social media followers. The members are excited by her presence, but unaware of her past with Hyunjung. Kang Sol's fame and charisma make her an instant focus at the gym. Hyunjung, mindful of their history, sets strict boundaries for her training. No flashy clothes, no personal emotions interfering, just serious work. Kang Sol accepts the rules calmly, showing confidence and professionalism. During training, Hyunjung recalls how Kang Sol abruptly ended their relationship right before a major bodybuilding competition, an event that crushed his morale and affected his performance. One day, Miran sees Kang Sol and Roy together and mistakenly thinks they are romantically involved. She soon realizes Roy was just helping Kang Sol by removing dust from her eye, which brings relief, but also exposes Miran's lingering jealousy and insecurity. During a workout, Miran's leggings tear while she's doing squats, causing her embarrassment. Kang Sol kindly lends her a spare pair and asks to connect on Instagram. This gesture sparks a friendship, introducing Miran to Kang Sol's influential social circle and the world of fitness influencers. That evening, Miran stops a photographer from taking unauthorized pictures of Kang Sol. Showing impressive strength and confidence, Kang Sol effortlessly throws the photographer over her shoulder, impressing Miran and the gym community. They share dinner and drinks afterward. Kang Sol confides that her past relationship was with someone obsessed more with their physique than with her as a person. The next day, Roy officially joins Hyunjung's gym, buying a year's membership. He warns Hyunjung to treat Kang Sol well and not to hurt her, hinting at protective motives and possible tension. Meanwhile, Miran wakes up with a hangover, but recalls agreeing to a blind date set up by Kang Sol. Initially, she mistakenly sits with the wrong man, but soon meets Park Jong-han, who is kind, attractive, and seemingly perfect. After the date, Miran talks with her sister Jiran, who suspects Miran's mind is still elsewhere because even Jong-han's near perfection hasn't fully captured her heart. At the gym, the bathroom boiler breaks down, a minor inconvenience that Rosa brushes off cheerfully. She notes that thanks to Kang Sol's Instagram influence, the gym's membership has grown significantly. Kang Sol sends Hyunjung a message inviting him to meet up. They spend time eating and shopping for clothes together. Hyunjung reads her attention as romantic interest, but Kang Sol reveals her real aim. She wants the best asset Hyunjung has, his physical body. Miran agrees to see Park Jong-han again, but finds herself emotionally detached and unenthused. During the date, she imagines Hyunjung's presence, which causes her to abruptly leave. Later, Miran witnesses Hyunjung and Kang Sol together at a hotel. Miran returns home in unusually high spirits. She feels proud that, for once, she managed to avoid an embarrassing moment. Sharing her feelings with her sister Jiren and Jiran's boyfriend Kang-dan, Miran confesses that she has developed romantic feelings for Hyunjung. However, she admits that she once saw Hyunjung leaving a hotel with Kang Sol, and is now relieved she didn't act on her emotions before witnessing that. Miran convinces herself that a relationship between them wouldn't work anyway. He's too focused on fitness, and she doubts they would be compatible. She finds comfort in believing she spared herself future heartbreak. Miran's cheerful mood quickly fades when she sees Hyunjung training Kang Sol at the gym. Curious and somewhat defensive, she asks Roy if he's dating Kang Sol. He confirms that he is. Later, Kang Sol invites Miran out for coffee. Though hesitant, Miran agrees. During their conversation, Miran brings up the hotel incident. Kang Sol clarifies it was simply for shooting fitness content. A flashback shows Hyunjung clearly rejecting any romantic interest during the shoot, insisting she cannot have his body. Kang Sol reveals she's been struggling with a medical condition, and other trainers refuse to work with her. Hyunjung was the only one willing to help her regain her strength. The next day, Jiren notices Miran is wearing makeup to the gym, something she never does. Miran explains she wants to look good for the shoot and rushes to the gym, hoping to impress Hyunjung. However, her insecurity gets the better of her. In frustration, she tosses a weight, accidentally breaking a mirror. This forces Rosa and Alex to close the gym temporarily for repairs. Later, Hyunjung assigns Miran the task of planning a fitness retreat. Following her boss's advice, she selects a scenic beachside location. On the day of the camp, Hyunjung is surprised to see everyone dressed up. While Kang Sol predictably grabs everyone's attention, Hyunjung smiles to see Miran dressed appropriately in workout gear. Meanwhile, Kang-dan begins acting distant, and Jiren senses something is wrong. On the bus, Kang Sol openly tells Miran that she's aware of her feelings for Hyunjung, and surprisingly offers her support. Upon arriving, Jiren confronts Kang-dan about his coldness, but he avoids giving her a clear answer. As the training starts, Miran tries to get closer to Hyunjung, but the three gym aunties begin playfully scheming to match him with Kang Sol instead. Miran suggests a group game, Truth or Dare Squats. During the game, she pointedly asks about the relationship between Hyunjung and Kang Sol. Kang Sol admits they dated, but insists there's nothing between them now. Jiren, however, challenges her. Why couldn't she find another trainer who wasn't her ex? Before things escalate, Kang-dan abruptly tells Jiren that they should break up. Later, the group heads to karaoke, but Miran experiences stomach pain. Rosa gives her medicine from Kang Sol, and despite Sol's protests, Miran takes it. Sol then panics, revealing that the medicine contains narcotic painkillers. Miran faints, prompting Hyunjung to carry her to the hospital on his back. While en route, Sol calls to clarify the pills were just strong digestive aids. Miran regains consciousness, saying the dizziness was likely from shock. She realizes Hyunjung ran barefoot to help her. Though she offers to walk, he insists on carrying her, and even puts on her shoes to continue. Later, Miran speaks with Kang Sol, who opens up about her illness. She fears her followers would abandon her if they knew the truth. Sul expresses a wish to take body profile photos, a symbolic milestone, and asks Miran for her support. Back in the city, Sul begins training with both Miran and Hyunjung to prepare for the shoot. Jiren approaches Sol and asks her to sign a copy of her book, Never a Sad Ending. Sol assures her that heartbreak isn't the end. Everyone can find their own happy ending, even after loss. Jiren is comforted, though Kang-dan still avoids her calls. On the day of the shoot, Kang Sol apologizes to Hyunjung for ending their relationship before his big competition. The photo session is a success, capturing her strength and vulnerability. 3 months later, Alex and Hyunjung are handing out gym flyers. Unexpectedly, Hyunjung receives a surprising message. Meanwhile, Kang Sol is seen silently watching Hyunjung and Miran playfully running on the beach together, a wistful look on her face as she observes the connection blossoming between them. A new client arrives at the gym, specifically requesting a consultation with Hyunjung. However, Rosa and Miran quickly grow suspicious of the man's behavior. Upon closer inspection, they discover multiple hidden cameras on him. Alarmed by the invasion of privacy, they confront and chase him out of the gym. In a shocking twist, the man publicly accuses Hyunjung of murder, stunning everyone in the gym. A flashback reveals the funeral of Kang Sol, a key figure in Hyunjung's past. Despite the mournful atmosphere and the swarm of reporters, Hyunjung is unable to shed tears. The media blames him for pushing Kang-sol too hard during training, implying that his intense regimen led to her death. Overwhelmed by guilt and public scrutiny, Hyunjung vanishes, leaving the gym and withdrawing entirely from public life. In the present, Miran steps up as a pillar of support. She rallies the gym community to stay united and urges everyone to give Hyunjung the space and time he needs to heal. The members respond with determination, working together to keep the gym running 24/7. They fend off reporters and distraught fans of Kang-sol, refusing to let external pressure dismantle what they've built. Meanwhile, Miran continues to miss Hyunjung deeply. She revisits places tied to their memories, later confessing to Jiran that these visits stem not from concern, but from longing. Tensions escalate when the gym's landlord informs Rosa of a rent increase due to a better offer, essentially forcing them to vacate. Rosa suspects Roy is behind the deal after seeing him speak with the landlord and confronts him, warning him not to meddle with the gym or underestimate Hyunjung. Meanwhile, Alex confides in Seong-im, revealing how Hyunjung saved his life. But when he overhears students spreading false rumors that Hyunjung advised Kang-sol to avoid chemotherapy, Alex is incensed. In a rage, he grabs a wrench and confronts them, causing a public disturbance. Miran spots someone who looks like Hyunjung and follows him up 10 floors, only to discover he's working as a delivery man. She pleads with him to return to the gym, but he coldly refuses, haunted by guilt. Elsewhere, Rosa and Alex are taken to the police station after the confrontation. While there, Rosa is surprised to learn that Alex comes from a wealthy family and was once in medical school. Despite his background, Alex insists that helping others through fitness is his true calling. Back at the gym, Rosa tells the members that Hyunjung is unlikely to return. The news infuriates Seong-im, who decides to directly confront the media to stop the harmful narratives. Meanwhile, Ji-ran is hospitalized with pancreatitis. Kang-dan visits her and explains that his commitment to public service led to their breakup. He doubts she could handle the long distance and lack of communication. Desperate to reach him, Miran places multiple food delivery orders until she finally sees Hyunjung again. She brings him spicy tteokbokki, his least favorite dish but a symbol of comfort, and shares it with him. Her gentle support and insistence that Kang-sol's death wasn't his fault bring a rare smile to his face. Then, a new video surfaces online. Initially presented as an exposé, it instead contains heartfelt testimonials from gym members praising Hyunjung's character and guidance. Alex shares his emotional story, revealing how Hyunjung helped him through depression and binge eating. The video moves Hyunjung deeply. Motivated by the outpouring of support, he returns to the gym, where he receives a warm and emotional welcome from the entire community. The landlord returns, this time with Alex's mother, who plans to buy out the gym to redirect Alex toward a more respectable career. Alex tries to explain that he's finally found purpose in his current role, but she remains firm. Meanwhile, Ji-ran confronts Kang-dan about his lack of faith in their relationship. His silence speaks volumes, prompting her to walk away, heartbroken. Rosa apologizes to Roy for wrongly accusing him, only to discover that Hyunjung had entrusted Roy with overseeing the gym during his absence. Later, Hyunjung moves back into the gym. He receives a message that brings a small smile to his face. Outside, he meets Miran, who once again brings tteokbokki. Just as they're about to enjoy it, the 3 gym aunties approach. Miran pulls him into a narrow alley to avoid sharing. Even after the aunties leave, Hyunjung teasingly whispers, "They're still around," hinting at his lingering playfulness and deepening bond with Miran. Miran and Hyunjung share a playful yet slightly tense moment as they argue over the last piece of tteokbokki at a cozy restaurant. Their banter is interrupted by a sudden snowfall outside. Without hesitation, Hyunjung grabs Miran's hand and urges her to run back to the gym, laughing as they dodge the cold. Later, as he reflects on the moment, Hyunjung finds his heart racing. The simple act of holding her hand lingers in his thoughts, along with the taste of tteokbokki, which keeps resurfacing throughout his day. That afternoon, he receives a surprise visit from the editor of Muscle Man Korea, who offers him a coveted spot on the magazine's cover. Flattered, Hyunjung accepts, feeling both honored and motivated. However, when he checks his body fat percentage and finds it has climbed to 11.3%, well above his usual 4%, he panics and recommits to a strict training routine to return to peak form. Elsewhere, Rosa runs into Roy, who is drunk and brooding over Hyunjung's magazine opportunity. Feeling overshadowed and insecure, Roy confesses his jealousy. Rosa, seeing his vulnerability, agrees to have a drink with him to lift his spirits. As the evening unfolds, Roy invites her to his gym to share some protein shakes. The next morning, Rosa wakes up in Roy's gym, flustered and unsure about what happened. Though her memories are fuzzy, she quietly slips out the back door, feeling embarrassed and unsettled. Back at the gym, Hyunjung becomes increasingly preoccupied by thoughts of Taeokboki. His anxiety spikes when the Muscleman Korea editor calls to inform him that the shoot has been moved up by a week. Overwhelmed, he starts avoiding Miran. At home, Miran vents to Jiran, who is busy flirting with a new man. Jiran coaches Miran on how to flirt, starting with smiling with her eyes, which Miran awkwardly fails at. The second tip is casual touching, but Hyunjung comically moonwalks away whenever she tries. The final tip is sharing food, so Miran invites him out for Taeokboki. However, Hyunjung suddenly snaps, shouting that he's sick of Taeokboki. Miran, hurt and embarrassed, quietly leaves. At work, she hears of a new opportunity, a year-long assignment in Hawaii. At the gym, Roy joins Rosa's Zumba class, but Rosa is visibly distracted by memories of the previous night. After class, Roy boldly asks her to be his partner, refusing to take no for an answer. Meanwhile, Hyunjung finds himself alone in a restaurant, staring at a plate of tteokbokki. But the dish doesn't taste the same without Miran. The restaurant owner confirms it's the exact same recipe, and Hyunjung realizes it wasn't the food. It was the time spent with Miran that made it special. At that moment, Miran enters, sees him, and quickly walks out. He runs after her, but she assumes he simply didn't want to share the meal with her and leaves upset. That evening, Hyunjung surprises Roy by offering him the Muscleman Korea cover instead. He confesses he's no longer willing to give up Taeokboki, acknowledging his emotions over discipline. The next day, Miran shocks everyone by choosing to train with Alex instead of Hyunjung. Jealous and unable to stay away, Hyunjung keeps interrupting with unsolicited advice. Eventually, he admits he hasn't been able to stop thinking about Taeokboki, though he stops short of expressing his true feelings. Their tension reaches a boiling point when he accidentally hits Miran on the head with gym equipment, prompting her to storm out in frustration. Rosa prepares to break off her connection with Roy, but is stunned when he meets her outside his gym, excitedly sharing that he's accepted the magazine opportunity. He invites her to visit again, but Rosa bluntly tells him she won't sleep with him again. Roy, confused, insists they only worked out and nothing happened. Realizing her misunderstanding, Rosa runs off, mortified. Meanwhile, Miran doesn't return to the gym for 3 days. Concerned, Hyunjung asks Jiran about her, and Jiran suggests maybe he's grown tired of Miran. She also mentions he's been working out at an outdoor gym instead. Later, Jiran returns home and finds Kang Dan waiting outside with a guitar. He sings her an original song expressing his regret and love, prompting Jiran to rush out and embrace him. Eventually, Hyunjung tracks down Miran and confesses he can no longer train her because he finds her too pretty. He sweetly tells her that even her fat is cute, and that he feels guilty when she pushes herself too hard. In a vulnerable and honest moment, he finally admits that he likes her. Miran, overjoyed, responds with a kiss, marking the start of their romantic relationship. In a flashback, Miran and Jiran are building snowmen together. Miran's snowman resembles Hyunjung, while Jiran's looks like Kang Dan, symbolizing the deepening of both sisters' love lives and the joy they've rediscovered. Miran and Hyunjung are now secretly dating, sharing quiet moments of joy, laughter, and stolen handholds. But their secret doesn't stay hidden for long. The gym's trio of regulars, the gym aunties, casually reveal that everyone already knows. With the truth out, Miran and Hyunjung officially go public with their relationship, embracing each other openly. However, reality quickly intrudes on their happiness. A severe ceiling leak threatens the gym's infrastructure. When a plumber inspects the damage, he delivers bad news that the entire ceiling and piping system need urgent replacement. The landlord, however, refuses to take responsibility or offer financial support, leaving the gym staff scrambling for solutions. The first major loss is a beloved piece of equipment nicknamed Mi Cheon by Hyunjung. When a woman agrees to purchase it, disaster strikes. Hyunjung injures himself during the move, fracturing a rib and spraining both wrists. He's hospitalized just as the gym experiences a total power outage. Burdened with pain and worry, Hyunjung begins to fear losing the gym, the place he calls home, but Miran stands by his side, reminding him that they're in this together. At her workplace, Miran receives unexpected news. She's been accepted into a prestigious year-long program in Hawaii. The offer fills her with excitement and guilt. Torn between chasing her dreams and supporting Hyunjung through crisis, she confides in Jiran and Kangdan. They warn her not to abandon someone she loves when they're at their lowest. That evening, Miran visits the hospital, but finds Hyunjung missing. She rushes to the gym and finds him there alone and distressed. Wordlessly, he leans into her for comfort. Determined to stay, Miran prepares to reject the Hawaii offer. But a tense argument erupts at work when her colleague Ye-jin, bitter and envious, criticizes her for letting emotions derail her career. Their fight is overheard by Jun Seok, who quietly pulls Miran aside. He opens up for the first time, removing his wig to reveal a bald scalp. His vulnerability explains why he pushed her away. He was never ashamed of her, but afraid of being seen himself. His words help Miran realize she's spent too long measuring her worth through the eyes of others. With clarity, Miran races to find Hyunjung and tells him she's going to Hawaii not to run away, but to follow her dream. Hyunjung, though surprised, supports her decision completely and scolds her gently for not telling him sooner. Later, he informs Rosa and Alex that the gym is closing down. Roy, however, has offered them jobs at his own facility. The 24-hour gym's members gather one last time to say goodbye, packing their belongings as emotions run high. Hyunjung promises, within 6 months, they'll be training together again. In a heartfelt conversation, Rosa admits to Roy that she can't work with him because she's developed feelings for him. Roy responds warmly, offering her the director position at his original gym location while he opens a new branch. Rosa is visibly moved and accepts. To mark their final night, the gym throws a farewell workout party. Director Dong appears, thanking Hyunjung for protecting the gym and inviting him to visit Venice. It's a moment of deep mutual respect between mentor and student. At work, Miran bids farewell to her co-workers. Ye-jin, in an unexpected gesture of kindness, gives her all the Hawaii research she collected on her honeymoon. At the airport, Hyunjung gives Miran a handwritten workout schedule, along with a warm, lingering hug. They part ways with smiles, love, and hope in their eyes. 1 year later, Rosa and Alex thrive under Roy's management. Kangdan proposes to Jiran with a song, and she runs to embrace him with tears of joy. Meanwhile, Miran returns from Hawaii and calls Jiran for a pickup. But when Jiran asks about Hyunjung, Miran quickly changes the subject. Even the gym aunties are wondering where he's disappeared to. Suddenly, Hyunjung appears and leads everyone to a rooftop gym. His new creation, Roy, Rosa, and Alex join, marveling at the unique space. Hyunjung shares that during the past year, he worked regular jobs, office work, deliveries, and housework to better understand the everyday challenges people face with fitness. His message is clear: train harder, live better. As the group begins their first rooftop workout, Miran appears, returning just in time to join the session. Everyone celebrates her return with hugs and cheers. If you enjoyed this recap, hit that like button and subscribe for more. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and see you next time.